Yo, what's up, boys? Party Waffles here, and today I'm making you guys The War Within Season 2 PvP tier list. It's going to be mainly solo shuffle / 3v3 centric. And yeah, so we're going to factor in all the changes that have happened since the actual season started and tell you guys what's changed since the preseason. Also, we're going to factor in the upcoming changes for next Tuesday that were just announced and sort of factor the tier sets, but we're going to make another one later on when everybody has their tier sets because some of them will change. But I'll comment on which ones are going to change. So let's get right into this here. So Arms Warrior, I actually think they're B tier now. At first, I didn't trust the Arms propaganda because I saw one 3.8 mil Mortal Strike like 2 days ago in the season. But I think all the stars literally aligned for that. Like probably no defenses were pressed, full offensives, everything, right? The stars aligned. Playing Arms Warrior into casters has got to be absolutely miserable right now. So I actually do believe the Warriors when they say that. So I'm going to put Fury Warrior S tier. I think it's insane. Every single global they have can hit 3 million, and they have their huge Mortal Strike. They have good uptime into casters. We're putting that high. Assassination Rogue, same as last season. They still seem god tier. Crazy damage. They're a rogue. They do rogue things. Yeah. Sub, I'm actually going to put this in A tier. I thought in the preseason sub was S tier, but it seems to have fallen off a little bit. There is some sub changes coming on Tuesday, though, so I'm not 100% how those are actually going to end up affecting everything, but we'll see if it's net positive at the end of the day. Outlaw Rogue, again, seems pretty decent. Just good damage, good mobility, typical rogue thing. All right, Marksman Hunter. So I actually had them as S tier, but they're getting a little bit of a nerf. So I'm going to put them at a high A tier, okay? High A tier. Again, the ranks from left to right don't mean anything. It's just simply S, A, B, C, okay? So there's no left to right or anything like that. But for instance, if something's in B tier, one could be B minus and one could be B plus, right? So just because they're in B doesn't mean they're exactly the same. It's just they're not an entire tier apart. Survival Hunter, A tier. Their crazy one-shot just got nerfed. I think they'll still be good, though. BM Hunter, I actually think since the buffs, BM is S tier again. I'm seeing a ton of them. I think they're going to end up being the best Hunter spec as of Tuesday. And then Demon Hunters, I think they're A tier. A good Mortal Strike, big damage, you know, just normal DH stuff. They seem to do a lot of damage. They actually do more single target damage than me now while having a Mortal Strike. So the class seems very good, in my opinion. Of course, they struggle into rogues and BM hunters and whatnot, but I think the class, as a class, it's pretty good right now. Feral Druid, I think they're S tier. I played some Unholy Ebola Cleave with a Feral Druid, and it felt absolutely insane in threes. So Feral seems like the god class still. Boomkin, I think they're a strong A tier. You know, they have clone, they have some instant cast damage, they can kite around, do their thing. Decent class. Let's see here. So Druid's getting buffed again on Tuesday. So I think Druid was kind of mid, but maybe with the buffs, we're going to send Druid in A tier. We'll see how that actually works out, but yeah. Frost DK, I actually want to put Frost DK in A tier, right? Frost DK right now is almost 2,500 in solo shuffle already. I don't think by any means Frost DK is godly. I think it's like low A tier, like A minus, okay? Like the literal bottom of A tier, okay? If we're going to put Unholy in B tier currently, I would say it's just slightly above. Like at max, A minus, because I don't think people have figured out how to maximize it yet. And in certain situations, you can do crazy damage. So I'm not going to completely count that out yet. Not to mention I hit 3 mil Frost Strikes as well as the Remorseless Talent. So Unholy DK, I'm going to put this at B tier right now. I would put this at B plus tier, okay? Unholy and Solo Shuffle feels pretty mid into a lot of things. For example, Mages and Devastation Evokers or Fury Warriors. But the thing about Unholy is once we get our 4 set, it's going to be a big power spike. So I think once Unholy gets its 4 set, it will be bottom of A tier, okay? But for now, I'm going to put it at B tier for the next couple weeks till we get our 4 set. Again, Warrior's getting nerfed on Tuesday as well, so Arms Warrior. So I think Unholy is currently, what I think is Unholy is slightly better or slightly worse than Arms Warrior. Like say this is like B plus and this is B, but I would say that this is going to go up to A like I just said. So Devastation, I'd put that at S. Insane mobility, unslowable, crazy damage, easy rotation. I just literally get it. Every Devastation lobby I get in just feels like the most oppressive thing, I swear to God. Especially if they have teammates that can't connect to them too. It just gets brutal. AUG feels absolutely terrible. I played a bunch of threes yesterday. AUG DK. AUG does not feel good at all. It's not it. Play Devastation. Presvoker. Let's see. So I think Presvoker is I actually think Presvoker is A tier still. They do a shit ton of healing. They're not quite as good as, say, Disc Priest, for example, but in terms of the best healers now, I would say Disc Priest is getting nerfed a lot on Tuesday, but I still think it's going to be really good. I actually think Disc Priest and Resto Shaman are the best healers. Like, I played with a Resto Shaman with that Ebola cleave that I was telling you about in threes, and it felt so safe. Like, I never felt like we were in trouble, barely. So the Shaman's heals are cranking right now. Holy Paladin. Actually, okay, I think Holy Paladin is still kind of A. I don't think it's not like S plus broken like it was last season, but it is still decently strong. It's just not as strong as the other things. So let's go to the next class here. Ret Paladin. So currently, I would have put Ret Paladin in like B plus between threes and solo shuffle. In just solo, I've maybe put it A minus just because it's broken defensive utility. But overall, I would put it B tier. Come Tuesday, when Ret Paladin gets buffed, offensively, it's getting buffed across the board, right? And then defensively, it already has magic bop, normal bop, lay on hand, sank. You know what I mean? The list goes on. So they have the defensive utility to drag the games out. So with a little bit more damage, they might just be what they need to close it out. Holy Priest, honestly, I'm up in the air about Holy Priest. So it's getting buffed, right? But I don't know how significant the Holy Priest buffs are. So this one, if any Holy Priest in the comments could let me know, maybe you guys think this is A tier, but let me know what you think. I currently am thinking this is going to be like B plus tier, okay? B plus tier for the Holy Priest. Windwalker, S tier. I feel like the nerfs weren't really, they weren't a big deal. The class seems really good. Very, very good in terms of melee. So let's see, what's next? Shadow Priest. They seem strong. There's a lot of melee that can tunnel them down and zug them down, but I definitely feel like Shadow Priest is pretty strong. Pretty tanky, pretty good damage. Overall, good position. And then we have Mistweaver Monk. So this one's hard for me, right? Because a lot of Mistweavers are saying it's so bad and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I queued with someone with Mistweaver yesterday, and it did not seem that bad. But at the same time, if you fight Mistweaver into like Priest, it feels like impossible, right? It feels like impossible. So maybe Mistweaver is like just a high B plus tier here. High B plus tier, potentially A minus, but we're gonna go with B plus right now, just because it seems that every Mistweaver is having a horrible time. Okay, the next thing we have here is Destruction Warlock. They got buffed recently. I think Destruction Warlock isn't quite S tier, but I think it's a strong, solid A tier. I feel like it has S tier comps, like Destro Feral or things like that. But, okay, Affliction Warlock. So, again, we're basing this... I didn't do this for DK yet, but once Affliction gets its 4 set, it's like guaranteed to be S tier, right? Because your UA is spread to people. So it's basically guaranteed to be S tier once it gets its 4 set. And then DK is more than likely guaranteed to be A tier. But again, we'll remake the tier list once we get the 4 sets. Okay, so let's go here. Now, Frost Mage, S tier. I feel like every single Frost Mage lobby I get, the Frost Mage just cleans up instantly. It feels like they never die unless they want you to... unless they want you to kill them, they're not dying, it feels like to me. Arcane Mage, same boat. Absolutely insane spec right now. If it doesn't want to die, it's not going to die. And it does a shit ton of damage and executes. Fire Mage, I'm going to go with A tier for Fire Mage. I've seen they're weaker than the other specs, but I've also seen Fire perform well. I've seen it perform well, and I've seen it not perform well. But I think it could just be the user. I think if you're playing it to its max, it can perform all right. It's just overshadowed by the other specs. Next thing we have here is Demo Warlock. I think Demo Warlock is A now. It's tanky, it does damage, it's got a Mortal Strike. It's just nothing special, but it's just a solid A tier, right? It's a solid pick. You should have a decent time. I think it used to be bad, but then it got some buffs. So what else do we have here? Enhanced Shaman. So I almost want to put this in S tier, but I think it's not. It's hard to say, right? I had some lobbies with Big Dam, and he was telling me how broken it was, and he was doing like double everyone's damage, literally double. Like I'm talking 75 mil to 150 mil when we were playing a Warrior DK Enhanced Shaman. I forget what the other class was, but he was telling me how broken it is and blah, blah, blah. So based on like what it can potentially do, I want to put it S tier, but I've only seen one person do that so far. So based on that alone, I'm just going to put it at A tier because in the hands of most people, it probably is not like that. It's not quite S tier. All right, and then Ellie Shaman. Ellie Shaman's getting a bunch of buffs across the board. I think it's going to be a strong, solid A tier. Like I said, they had some decent bursts before, but a lot of people were complaining about them. But I think the changes coming Monday, the buffs, will fill in everything. But again, chat, so the main things that I think are going to shift when we get 4-set off the rip is I think Unholy is going to go up to the same tier as Frost, and which is probably like A- tier, maybe A for Unholy. And then this is going to go up to S tier, although you could already say it was. Personally, I would put this A right now, but I think it's guaranteed going to be S very soon. So, and there you have it, guys. There is my week 1, The War Within Season 2 PvP tier list for Solo Shuffle and Arena. So if you agree or disagree with any of these in the comments, let me know. If you think any of these are going to change when the 4-set comes out and I missed it, also let me know. Other than that, hit the subscribe button, drop a like, drop a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video, which should be the Frost guide, by the way. So peace out, boys. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.